Hi everyone, Stephanie with Mama Bear Ink. Welcome back to my YouTube channel for another card making video. If this is your first visit, thank you very much and I hope you'll consider subscribing. Today we're going to be making a fairly simple Halloween card. We're going to be using the Stampin' Up set Howl-O-Ween Treat. This is a brand new set in our 2015 holiday catalog and we're going to be using this little spider image on our card today. Another set that we're going to be using, and this one is in our annual catalog, is the And Many More Sentiments set. And this has a variety of sentiments that can take you through the entire year. For today's card, we're going to be using the Happy Halloween sentiment. The pieces of cardstock that you'll need to cut today in order to make this project are a piece of basic black. You'll need to cut it 11 by 4 1/4, score it down the center at 5 1/2 inches, and when we fold this over, this will create a standard A2 top folding card, which fits inside Stampin' Up's medium-sized envelopes just perfectly. So this will be our card base today. You'll also need a piece of crumb cake cardstock, and this is going to be cut 4 by 5 1/4, and another little piece of basic black. This is 3/4 of an inch wide by 4 inches long. By 4 inches long, I am having a really tough time. I think this is like take 25 on this video. So let's see if we can get through the rest of it. All right, we're going to take our piece of crumb cake cardstock and a little bit of snail adhesive, and we're just going to put a touch of it on the backhand side, touch it a couple of times, and then we're going to lay it down onto our work surface. We need the sticky on the back just to hold it steady because we are going to be doing some stenciling. And the stencil that we're going to use today is this kind of wonky rectangle stencil, and this comes in a stencil pack called the Happy Patterns Decorative Mask Pack by Stampin' Up. And we're just going to lay this over our crumb cake piece, and I've got some painter's tape here at the corners to hold it down. And so we've got that over our crumb cake card panel. We're going to be using Blackberry Bliss ink, Tangelo Twist, and Hello Honey to do our stenciling today. And we're going to start out with our lightest color, which is Hello Honey, and use our, excuse me, I did not mean to hit the camera, use our Hello Honey Stampin' Sponge to lay down our ink. And we're not going to do this super careful or anything like that. We're going to do it quick and lay down some color. What we want to do is make sure there's ink on this side of the stencil and fading out to the left here. So we're going to start at the bottom with Hello Honey and just ink up the bottom portion, fading out to the left. And that's all there is to that. Goes really quickly. Moving on to our next darkest color, which is the Tangelo Twist. We'll get our Tangelo Twist Stampin' Sponge. We're going to overlap the Hello Honey a bit there and then move up, being sure to fade out to the left as we go. And the Tangelo Twist is done. And we are going to finish up with Blackberry Bliss and our Blackberry Bliss Stampin' Sponge, and overlap the Tangelo Twist a bit at the top, fading out to the left. And this one we're going to take all the way up to the top of the card panel. And that is the end of our sponging. So now we get to watch the magic happen when we take our stencil off of our page and see what we've created. So now we have this gradient color background on the crumb cake cardstock that we are going to use as the background for our card. Now the next thing that we're going to do is take our little sentiment strip here, and we're going to be stamping our Happy Halloween sentiment, which I just have on a G block. We're going to be stamping that in Versamark ink and doing our best to get it nice and straight on the strip. Just set it down and back up. And oh, I should have told you, you probably should use an embossing buddy to get rid of any static cling or oils on your fingers. But again, I am having a really tough time with this video. I've embossed, I don't know, 100 embossing strips so far. So, okay, we are going to be using Stampin' Emboss white embossing powder on our Happy Halloween sentiment. So I just put this over a piece of scrap paper, and we'll pour our white embossing powder, and since I did not use the embossing buddy, I've got some all over the place. There we go. Just kind of get rid of the excess, set that aside, and we will funnel our embossing powder back into its little cup. And now we just need to take our heat tool and melt the embossing powder. All right, so it doesn't take very long. And we did pretty good. We didn't get a whole lot of stuff on there, but I just touched it. Oh my goodness, if I ever get this video on YouTube, it will be a miracle. All right, we're going to bring our crumb cake panel back in and determine where we want our Happy Halloween to go across the front, because that is going to determine where we're going to stamp our little spider. And I think we're going to stamp him right here between the two orange lines, and we're going to be using the brand new Archival Basic Black ink to stamp our little spider today. This is a great ink. I have used it to watercolor with blender pens, below inking. It does not smear. It's a great permanent ink. I'm enjoying using it. And so again, we're going to stamp our little spider face down right there. All right, and we are done with the Archival Black ink. Next, we are going to bring in a basic black Stamp and Write marker and a straight edge of some kind. This is just a T-ruler that I have on hand here. And we're going to use the thin end of our marker and just draw a line from the top of our card down to our spider, like he's spun a little web and is traveling down the front of our card. And that's all there is to that. Now we are going to, instead of mounting that, let's go ahead and bring our stamped and inked panel to the front of our basic black card base. And we'll just use some snail to lay this down on our card base and make sure that it is nice and centered, which is not my forte. All right, but we didn't do too bad that time. And now we're going to lay down our little sentiment strip here, but I want to pop that up some, and I think I'm going to do that using some dimensionals. And excuse my reach here. I'm going to use what I call the bones of the dimensionals, and that's these side pieces. Don't ever throw those away. They're good for many, many different applications. This just being one of them. We'll lay that down just like so. We'll come over here and get this section of the bones. All right. And lay that down on this side. Move the backing papers. Make sure we're right side up. Haha. And just line this up with the edge of the crumb cake, getting it as straight as possible, and lay that down. Now, there is our simple little Halloween card. We have a fantastic inked and stenciled background, our little spider coming down, and a little sentiment strip. Very simple with the Happy Halloween from the Many More stamp set. And so if you are going to write inside the card with anything other than a white gel pen, you will need to put a lighter piece of cardstock on the inside so you have room to write your message, and by all means decorate that up any way you would like. So that finishes our simple little Halloween card for today. Thanks very much for spending time with me today. I've enjoyed hanging out with you, and I hope to talk with you again soon. Take care.